Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you guys having a great and exceptional day. It is Friday. We made it after all. The week is over. First official week in May. So, life is good for the most part. We have our little hurdles here and there, but, I'm just going to always say I just try to keep it positive, because being around negative energy doesn't suit anybody, doesn't do anybody any good. And I just leave it at that and I keep it simple. All right. All right. Today's word of the day is cache. C-A-C-H-E, a hiding place for storing provisions, a place for concealing valuables. Main reason why I chose this word today, and I say this specifically to all my young people out there. Remember, and I was having a mental conversation with myself about this morning. Remember, I don't care what job or even business that you have, for the most part. There's always an end date when it comes to it. Life has an expiration date, so therefore everything else has an expiration date for the most part. So I'm not going to say everything, but I said for the most part, everything else. Some but not all. As Zoe Williams would say, some but not all. All right. So a problem that a lot of young people get into when they're younger is people are naive. I'm guilty of this myself, so this is why I'm saying this. So going on a job, we're thinking that people are your best friends. Majority of the time, they're not. You're at your job to do your job and get paid to be there, because most people don't work for free. I know I don't. Okay, so with that being said, you need to be able to conceal certain things about your life, not put everything about your life online either, but conceal certain things about your life so that not everybody knows everything about you, because you never know when you're in a pit filled with snakes. You never know when you're going to encounter an adversary, and you never know if you're going to have a bunch of adversaries that are trying to become some sort of a cohesive force in order to get you canned, fired, disciplined, and any sort of access, in any sort of way. You got to be able to put yourself in a position where you're in a position as a cache, to where you're hiding certain things, because now the world doesn't need to know everything about you. That's just, you're not there to make friends. It's the same, there's an expiration date. And I've been at jobs where the person died one day, and this is one, I won't mention this gentleman's name, retired, nicest guy I ever met on the planet. He did everything right. He had health issues, but he was able to retire. He was basically forced to retire because the people he worked under were basically treating him like trash, and he died 4 months later after retiring. 4 months later. Okay. Guy wasn't even only a couple of years older than my mother, maybe by 7 years. And he died 4 months later. So for the so-called thing they call retirement, he couldn't even enjoy because, he passed away, unfortunately. Now, does this happen all the time? I'm going to say no, but his job was posted not even 2 months after he passed away. Okay. So what does that tell you? So stop getting married to a job, get married to life. How about that? Before you even worry about getting married to somebody else, get married to life, get married to your goals and aspirations. Stop trying to be best friends with people, especially because, the older we get, the less friends we have compared to being in grade school and being in college and in our early 20s. Stop trying to connect with people that don't have your best interest. 9 times out of 10, it's people at your job. Do your job, you want to laugh and joke with your coworkers, cool. But keep certain things hidden. They don't need to know everything about you. You don't need to know everything about them. Do your job, go home. It's the simple principles. It's the same thing even with business. Hey, you're not supposed to be hanging out with your customers all the time. You're supposed to be exchange for the products or the services, and then you move on. Okay, and things of that nature. That's how the game of life is supposed to be. Very simple principles. 50 Cent once said, today's quote of the day is by 50, says that they keep coming at me, I'll just keep responding back until they don't exist anymore. I got the time and energy to ruin what is left of their careers if they want to do that. And like they always say, 50 Cent was a troll, quote unquote, considered a troll before social media was a big thing. Social media just made it way easier for him to become a quote unquote troll. He would just shout people out in certain songs. Because in a sense, he kind of decimated Ja Rule's career and various others. All right. And the thing is, he was able to do this without even having to pull a gun on it. I mean, without shooting anybody. I know between him and the game, it got violent at one time. But for the most part, everybody else, it was just a lot of words. And you see 50 Cent now, he's not only he's not only become a big time rap star / actor, but now he's become a movie producing mogul. Has his own little compound down in Shreveport, Louisiana. All right. So he did what he had to do, starting off being an employee, had various different companies, was an employee in various different aspects in various different ways, from acting to writing to making music to producing, etc. and so forth. And now he's done the same thing with creating films, creating major production shows and things of that nature, from a contractor, from an employee to a partnership contractor, and now he is his own boss in a sense, doing it on his own. Levels to it all in his life. He's graduated in various different aspects, and even before all that, he was a guy in the streets. The smartest, the best entrepreneurs on the planet are the street hustlers. Okay, so because especially if they're successful street hustlers, you look at him, you look at a Damon Dash, you look at Jay-Z. They all started off in that same aspect, and they transitioned. Life is about transition. But it's not. But then it's not. Life is about not putting all your cards on the table, because if you do, that's how you lose any game, especially card games. So on that note, do the great TV things, like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. As I always say, make money move. So you're gonna live like a fool. Take care.